I'm driving home and I want to tell you a funny travel story, including about a toilet. You know, I tell you about toilets all the time. So it's very, very appropriate too. Let me just put you in a picture. I am just parked up, about to go do a walk. I even changed my shoes to do an afternoon walk so that I'm not wearing my normal work shoes. I'm wearing proper, like, shoes. Now, for context, this morning on a live stream, I was telling my friends that, and I'm sure you're from my friends too, that if you're watching this, Marie, specifically, you're definitely my friend, that I need some advice. And I kind of in my head knew what the advice was. I mean, the answer. That I'm going to Africa in a couple of months' time, and I'm going to do a overland trip, which means I'm on a bus with a whole lot of other randoms, like a tour bus kind of thing, but it's a four-wheel drive bus. So they call it the overland because you're going overland through Africa. And I'm planning to do Kenya and Uganda on my way to see the gorillas, the mountain gorillas. Can't wait to see that, right? So part of that is that, you will stop places on the side of the road to squat, to pee. If you need to pee, that's what you got to do. The bus doesn't have a toilet, okay? We're not talking luxury buses, right? Like in Europe or anything like that, or even in Australia. We're talking about a bus with people on it and our bags and tents, okay? So, yeah, if you need to go, there'll be, designated stops. But if you are desperate, well, then basically men on that side, women on the other side, and you're going to squat, okay? Now, you guys know that I talk about toilets a lot on my channel, okay? It's just a theme I have, right? And I dance in toilets a lot. I know you don't need to understand it. It's not the point, right? So this is where this story comes today. Because if Dora needs to do a squat, like a number one or number two, you're going to squat, right? I can't stand and pee, right? I'm sorry, I'm not a guy. I don't have those equipments, right? Though I do have a little thing, like they call it like a funnel, like a shiwi. They're not so successful. Okay, I've got a story about that one too. This might be a whole pee story, okay, guys? So, what I'm going with this is I've never been a very good squatter, okay? That is why I need to seek out, equipment so I can stand up and pee like a man, okay? But if you need to do a number two, you're going to have to squat. Just saying, okay? I know I'm visual here. I mean, I'm talking about weird stuff. But, these are human reactions, right? We all pee and poo, okay? I'm just going to put it out there, right? Now, when you travel, you're eating different foods. Sometimes your stomach doesn't agree with you. So it's not even, it's really not nice, okay? So if I have to go to a squat toilet and I need to squat, then I need to squat to do a number two. Now, I have an arthritic knee that gives me a little bit of curry, okay? It doesn't play my game, okay? I mean, I love it. I love it to death. My knees, amazing. They have carried me to some amazing places. I love my knee. I'm tapping my knee right now and saying, I love you. I love you. I love you. If I could kiss it right now, but I'm driving. But it has some issues, okay? It's been a little bit tormented by all the things I've done in my life, specifically playing tennis when I was younger. That's pretty hardcore on your body. So anyway, I can't squat. I cannot squat for the life of me. I have tried and it ends in disaster, okay? It ends in disaster. Let me tell you about one of those disasters. Now, this is going back when I was actually a lot younger and I could squat, but I still was disastrous at it, okay? So anyway, what I'm saying is where this is going, because where I'm heading right now is actually to the physio. Because if I'm going to have to squat and there's no, if there's no ifs and buts, right? If I have to, no ifs and buts. If I have to do a number two, I'm going to have to squat, right? It's nothing I can do. So I have to figure out how to squat. So I thought I'm going to have to learn exercises. I have to figure out, I've got 2 months to get this done. So I'm going to go to a physio. I really can't afford to go to a physio, but like I always say, if you can't afford travel insurance, you can't afford to travel. So Dora, if you can't afford to go to a physio, maybe once or twice to get yourself, squatting properly, then you really can't afford to go on a trip because you're going to end up in a hole. Literally, you're going to end up in a hole, and it's not going to be pretty. Like there's going to be, yeah, you don't need to go there. So that's where I'm heading right now. So I thought it would be really appropriate that I do a Dancing with Dora. Dancing with Dora. That's tonight. A spilling the tea. Spilling the tea. Sometimes I spill my tea. And tell you a story about this one time when I was on a squat toilet in Vietnam and it went bad. And I can't blame my arthritic knee for this because I was 30 something and my knees were fine. Okay, I never had any problems with my knees till like the last 4 years. Anyway, let me put you in the picture. I'm on a bus tour. Funnily enough, on a bus. I'm on a bus. I think it's a local bus. I can't remember. But I'm going from somewhere to somewhere in Vietnam. Now, I have 2 friends with me, and we are at a fuel station. Now, it doesn't matter what fuel station you go to. Fuel stations' toilets are always manky, okay? They're always got pee everywhere. Come on, guys. I don't know why you can't get in the toilet. For God's sakes, get in the friggin' toilet, not all over the seat. Or pick up the goddamn seat. Like, I mean, it's disgusting. But anyway, and like, not even pee, okay? So anyway, if you can not go to a service station toilet, it's better, right? But anyway, I am at a service station toilet and I'm busting to go to the toilet and I have my backpack because, I am Dora the Explorer. I'm always with a backpack. Even though I could have left my backpack in the bus because my friends were on the bus, but even though my friends are on the bus, I still take my backpack with me because in my backpack has my passport, right? My purse. Back then I didn't have mobile phones, but I had, things. So I don't want my friends to have to be responsible for my bag. I should be responsible for my bag. So I take it with me. So anyway, I am distracted from the music coming from the next car over. So I am lining up to go to the toilet because there's a few ladies lining up to go to the toilet. And to my horror, it's a squat toilet as per usual. Anyway, it's on I don't know if you've ever had to, go on a squat toilet. We're talking about a hole in the ground. But it's not just a hole in the ground. They are cemented and they're like a pedestal. Like most times the floor's here, then you go up onto a pedestal and then there's a hole that it's kind of probably nicely tiled, sometimes covered with disgustingness, and it's always wet. Okay, it's always wet. This is a big part of the story. It is always wet because there's a bucket. You don't have a flusher. There's no flush in this. There's a bucket next to you and there's a little hose. Okay, now if you don't know what the hose is for, you can figure that out yourself. But the hose is to fill up the bucket, and then you put the bucket in, like then you fill a little bucket up with water and you flush your whatever you did down the toilet, down the hole. Now Dora always carries toilet paper, so she doesn't need to use that flushy, like the little hosey thing. Okay, just saying. Okay, so let me also add another thing here. Dora, it's Vietnam, it's hot. I'm wearing flip-flops. Okay, I call them thongs on my feet. Most people would say flip-flops. I'm wearing thongs on my feet. Okay, and I did say there was water, right? You kind of know where this is going, right? Maybe you don't. Now, I walk, it's my turn. I'm busting to go to the toilet. Okay, I'm busting, can't wait to go to the toilet, right? So I've got my backpack and like I walk into the toilet and there's like water everywhere. You're like, oh God, you're assessing this situation. You're like, oh God, okay, I just need to go, right? Just don't look, close your eyes, not really close your eyes, but like, close your, like hold your nose too at the same time. I've got a backpack. I can't wear my backpack on my back, right? Because I'm squatting. So there's a hook at the front of the door. So I put my backpack on the front of the door, right? I lock the door and I step up onto the pedestal. I pull my shorts down. I've got shorts on. This is an important part of the story too. And I squat. And I think I just did a number one, guys. Nothing bad. Just did a number one. Anyway, in this process of doing a number one, I finish and I start to stand up. But traction just takes over. My flip-flops, my thongs, start sliding on the wet pedestal. And I'm like, now this is slow motion, right? Everything's happening in such slow motion, but obviously it was like that. I am like, what the fuck? I'm sliding. Um, the the walls are disgusting, right? The walls are disgusting. I don't know what to do because I'm like the wall. I don't even want to put my hands on the walls. But my first thing I think of is put my hands like this, like on the front, because I'm thinking I'm heading towards the door where my backpack is. So that's where I'm going. I'm heading out. I'm sliding, and I'm hit the door. The door flies open. I fly out of the toilet like skiing. Just think of me skiing. Now, just remember, I've not actually pulled my pants up at this stage. My shorts are still around my ankles, and I'm skiing like a squat out the toilet door. And then there's a whole lot of women just standing there looking at me going, anyway, let's just say I pulled my pants up, grabbed my backpack, and washed my hands and was out of there. I'd already done, I'll wipe myself. Okay, guys. So I go back onto the bus. I am flush pink because I am mortified, mortified. And my friends are like, "What happened to you? Like, why are you all red? What happened?" I said, "Don't talk to me." Anyway, after a while, I told them what happened. But anyway, that is probably the most embarrassing toilet story I have ever, ever happened to me. That I was literally flashed everyone in the queue. Thankfully, it was like just women, not men. That would be another level of embarrassment. I can't tell you who these ladies' faces were. I'm sure they were on the bus with me. I never looked at anyone like in eye contact when this happened because I just was like mortified. So yeah, if you're watching this, lady that I randomly, the ladies that I randomly flashed with my, whatever. Yeah, thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. So anyway, it's funny now, right? Because it's very funny. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. That is my spilling the tea squatting story. So it's kind of interesting that I tell this story because literally I'm going to the physiotherapist now to talk to them about how the hell I can learn to squat. Because this morning on a live stream, I demoed me getting down as low as I can. Because like how I normally do a squat is I don't go that low, right? How low can you go? I can't go low. I just do a normal squat. I'm not an overachiever. I just do a normal squat. It's not low enough to wee. Okay, I would end up weeing all over my legs. Okay, um, and it's probably why I avoid squat toilets like there's no tomorrow. Like I will hold it, and like I'll even not drink enough water, which is bad when you're traveling because I don't want to go to a squat toilet. So, like, give you an example. Did I squat? This. Okay, yes, this trip, this year when I went to Indonesia, I went to the Gili Islands. I went to Bali. I went to the island of Flores, and I went to the Gili Islands. If you haven't heard about Gili Islands, Google it. Amazing place, amazing place. Just outside of Bali, but these three islands, they're really beautiful in front of Lombok. Now, they are this island that I was staying on, Gili Trabajan, is a beautiful little island you can ride a bicycle around or walk around if you want to. But I rode a bike, and I was watching the sunset because that's what I did in Bali. I just basically went to every beach bar I could go to and just drink beer and watch the sunset. Not every beach bar, but I would sit at a beach bar and drink. But anyway, I was at a little beach bar watching the sunset. Now, these beach bars are quite rustic. I didn't go to the expensive ones, right? I just went to a little beach hut, and I did ask, "Do you have a toilet?" And they said, "Yes, over there." And they said to me, "It's only for number ones." Oh, okay. Now, I was curious, so I went and had a look at it because I thought, well, you know what? I need to check this situation because if you're going to have a couple of drinks over sunset, you're going to need to pee. And I thought, I better know what I'm getting involved in because if it's really that bad, I'm probably not going to, I'm going to have one drink and then ride my bike home, right? I'll control myself. So anyway, I went and I had a look and I thought, okay, this is interesting. I've never seen this before. It wasn't even a squat toilet. It was pebbles. Now, let me just say, it's pebbles with pavers on top of the pebbles. So you stand on the pavers and you pee on the pebbles. That's why it's the number one only, right? And I was very confused because there was no water. There was no running water. And obviously there's no toilet paper, guys. So again, always bring your own toilet paper when you're in Asia, just saying. Oh, anyway, and I probably might have a story to tell you when we go to Africa too. I've even got a story from Nepal when I was in Nepal about the similar stories. Oh my God, there's many squat toilet stories. I'll see how many I can tell you on my drive. So spilling the tea normally goes for about half an hour. There is a playlist, guys. So if you're interested in spilling the tea, there is a playlist called Spilling the Tea. Travel stories. So where am I going with this? Oh yeah, there's pebbles. So I thought, okay, that can't be too bad. It doesn't smell, but it's weird that there's no water. Like, okay, righto. So anyway, I went and had a couple of drinks, right? Watching the sunset, beautiful. But of course I needed to pee. So of course I went to the toilet. And then I realized when I went to the toilet that you know where to hang your bag. So I chucked my bag outside and hoped that no one would pick up my bag. Obviously there's no toilet paper. So I had my toilet paper with me. And now also to add another layer, the sun had already set. So it was dark. So I had a torch with me. So Dora is a girl guide. She has everything in her backpack. So I had a torch around my head, hanging down so that I could, get a bit of light to what I was doing. Not that I was really doing much because I just had to do a normal squat, like squat as much as you can because the key is, guys, even if there's pebbles, when you squat over rocks, you know what's going to happen here, right? Your pee splishes back at you. Okay, so not recommended to squat too low because if you squat too low, you're gonna have pee all over your face. So this is not a bad thing that Dora has a shitty squat so that she doesn't squat too low. But when you don't squat too low, you end up peeing all over yourself. Now, I believe I had to clean myself up a little bit. Okay, I did probably pee over my leg or something. Okay, so again, toilet paper. You clean yourself up. There's no water to run, to wash my hands or even wash myself, okay? These are the joys of travel, right? But that was a weird one. That was very weird. I've never had that before. That you pee on, pebbles. Very weird. And the fact they didn't even have toilet paper. So, that was very bizarre. The best squat toilet I've ever seen was in Malaysia. I was on an island called Rendang Island. I was staying, I wanted to stay at a backpacker hostel because, I'm a cheap ass, right? And I like the experience of staying in backpacker hostels, right? And plus, it doesn't cost you a lot of money. So anyway, there wasn't really a backpacker hostel there, but they had a dive shop. And the dive shop said, yep, you can use one of our rooms because they're cheap rooms. But of course, they shared actually, there was no one in my room anyway, but in the bunk beds. But anyway, I stayed there, but there was obviously no toilet outside the room. And it was a squat toilet. But this is the cool thing, right? It was a squat toilet and it had a flushing mechanism. I have never seen that before. Okay, I've never seen that before. Okay, so you've got a squat toilet, and it's clean, right? And a lot of people actually say it's way cleaner, and they actually prefer to go to squat toilets than a sit-down toilet because guys pee on the toilet seats. So it's interesting. So this toilet was a beautiful bathroom, very nicely put together, but it had a pedestal and a squat toilet, nicely tiled, and then you do your business, and then you pull the chain to flush it. Very interesting. I mean, this. I'm sure you're riveted that you came to this live stream today and you're hearing this on a replay. It must be riveting information. But I mean, if you haven't travelled to places that have squat toilets, I'm sure this is an eye opener and probably a bit of information you don't even want to know. But hey, I'm sharing is caring, and here I am to share. I share my experiences, right? And someone's there. I think it says, is it Nicholas? Could be Nicholas. I'm not sure. I can't really read the chat. But if you put your name in bigger letters, I could probably see who it is. I think it's Nicholas. Hi, Nicholas. Probably not a conversation you really want to know about. I'm talking about squat toilets, mainly about girls. Now, what other story do I have? Oh gosh, this is another really bad one, okay? Now, this talks about Shewis, okay? If you're not familiar with a Shewi is a little apparatus that mimics a boy's pee-pee so that women can stand up and pee. Now, great if it works, okay? Now, Dora specifically got one of these for when she went to Everest Base Camp, because in Everest Base Camp, there is not many toilets, and I might actually have to squat in the wild, in the wilderness. Yeah, and I just figured that it would be a lot easier to stand and pee, like my fellow men. And yeah, and again, like I said, I'm not good at squatting. Okay, we've established from my conversation here, my story, that I am not great at squatting, even before I had an arthritic knee. So Dora practice like anyone would do in the toilet. Okay, you practice with your sheepy or shiwi. They call them shiwis in the toilet. Sorry, in the in the shower. I know this is visual, guys. I'm sorry. Because yeah, anyway, you practice in the toilet, okay? And I did okay. I thought I did okay. And then I upgraded and I did it in the toilet and I did okay. Guess what happened? My first day in Lukla. Lukla is where you start off your hike. Now, this is a 10-day hike to get to Everest Base Camp, and then you have 4 days back, okay? And there is only 2 spots that you can have a shower. Your second day, or your first day? First day, your first day you can have a shower, and then I think the 6th day you can have a shower. So there's only 2 places that you can have a shower, only because the guest house don't have showers. Okay, we're talking about, well, high up in the sky, and water consumption is less. And the other problem is that the water actually freezes. So you can't even have showers because I was there in winter. It wasn't snowing, but a lot of the toilets were frozen. Okay, that's another story in itself. But so let me just set the scene. First day, so excited because I'm hiking one of my dream tracks. I mean, one of my dreams, my bucket list was to go to Everest Base Camp, right? So I'm full on excited. But I'd also known about the squat toilets, okay? And that was factoring in what I was wearing, because if you wear merino clothes, merino like leggings, like I was wearing thermal leggings because it's cold. So I had merino leggings. So that merino is wool from New Zealand, and it's special kind of wool that when weaved together, your leggings, you don't smell so much, okay? Just saying, okay? Because you're going to wear your leggings for a couple of days because there's no showers, and you can't take many clothes because you just can't take many clothes. You're going to be wearing the same thing over and over. It's better not to smell so much, right? So I'm not sure who's there, but hello. So, that's why merino wool is really quite popular for thermal clothes, because it keeps you warm, but it also gets rid of the smell. Well, it doesn't get rid of it. It's tries to not, you don't smell so much. So anyway, I was wearing merino thermal top, merino leggings, and I had to pee, right? So there's not many places to pee on this, on the track, and I was walking past a little cafe, and I asked if I could use their toilet. And they said, sure, out the back. So I go out the back looking for a squat toilet, right? Because they're not going to have Western toilets. I know that already. I'm already prepared. And I go out the back and I see what I guess was the toilet, but no joke. I walk in and there's planks, and there's a hole in between the planks. So you get what's this? It's not a hole. It's planks with a hole in the middle, and then you can see down the bottom. You're above, like I'm talking. I was on a hill, literally on a hill, and then underneath me down the hill, I could see what people do in these toilets, right? I don't need to be graphic. So I'm like, okay, when you got to go, you got to go. So I pull down my, I'm wearing hiking pants, and then I obviously have to pull down my hiking, my thermal pants, and then I have underwear on, right? So I pull that down, and I am trying to, well, I didn't really have to squat because I had the funnel, right? The sheepy. So you put the sheepy and you hold it up against yourself, and then you can stand peeing. So I'm pretty proud of myself until I'm not proud of myself because I start peeing and I start peeing out the other side, as in, like, the funnel is going out one way and then the other side is coming out the back. Now, that's not great because that means it's going all over my thermal pants, my underwear, and my hiking pants. So that excitement of being so proud of myself that I could use the Shewee turned into disaster because now I actually have to pull these pants up that are wet and I have to wear these leggings for the next couple of days. Yes, I could have a shower that night, but that's not really the case. I mean, that's not so bad. It's more the fact that I have to wear these clothes that I just peed on again because there's no washing clothes on Everest Base Camp, okay? Just saying. So anyway, that was my first experience using the Shewee. It didn't get any better from there. It didn't get any better. You really have to tuck it up and hold it up. Oh, it's just like disgusting. Disaster. I've given up on Shewees. I've tried a few more times to use them. Maybe I just don't understand the assignment, right? And if you're a woman and you've seen a Shewee, they are very weird, okay? And look, it also might be the fact that, you know, there's only so much pee it can hold. And then maybe I was peeing too much and too fast. Sorry, I'm very graphic. That it went down the other end. And so maybe I was holding it properly. Maybe I'm not giving myself enough credit here. That maybe I was holding it properly. That the problem was that I was peeing too fast. True. I mean, you think about it. I mean, ergonomically, there's only this thing's only this size. And, like, it's not holding enough pee. It's just kind of like holding a bit of, like, so it goes straight down. So maybe my flow was too much that it had to go somewhere and it went out the back, down my legs, over my underwear, into my thermal pants. And thankfully that saved my hiking pants because otherwise I would have had a wet bum. That would have been nice, wouldn't it? I mean, I did have a wet bum. I literally had a wet bum. So anyway, another disaster. So yeah, being able to squat is something that I really, really need to do better, or, like, I actually need to figure out how to do it. So anyway, that's where I'm going right now. I am going literally first. I'm going home to quickly get some pair of shorts because I've got a skirt on, and if I go to the physio and say, hey, teach me how to squat, and I'm wearing a skirt, it's a long skirt, so it's not I'm going to flash them, but it's just not appropriate. It's a bit hard to squat in a skirt, right? So anyway, that is my spilling the tea today, guys. Spilling the tea. I did say it was a nutty story because I have nuts with me, macadamia nuts. You can't say that wasn't a nutty story, right? I'd love to know. Write a comment after this video, please, and say that was surely nutty. Or not, I don't care, really, to be honest. So, I'm sorry that I haven't seen who you are. I said hello. I've just changed everyone off moderation. So normally when you're a moderator, I can actually see your name better. But when you're driving, you should be driving and concentrating on the road, not looking at the phone. Just saying. So I've got no chance of knowing who that was in the chat. And I can't touch the phone now to turn the phone off. So we are stuck talking to each other. So anyway, how you going? It is 3:50 p.m. here on a Wednesday afternoon. A shameless plug, because I'm here. Tonight is Dancing with Dora Wednesday. So I always do a short on a Wednesday. There is a dance. It's never, ever very brilliant, but it'll make you laugh, right? It'll make you pee. That's the main thing. And that's the point, right? I just spat at myself. My Dancing with Dora is not a serious thing. It's just taking the piss out of myself, to be honest, and giving people a laugh. I think that we are so uptight as people these days, as humans. We are so uptight, and we care so much about what people think of you. I clearly don't give a shit what people think about me because I'm just telling you about my pee stories. But I just think if more people didn't give a shit about what people think, we might have less mental health in this world. I mean, I look at young people these days and they are so caught up in, oh my God, I have to have, the hair, the nails, the best clothing because everyone else has those clothing and they'll talk bad about me if I don't have those clothing. I feel bad for those kids. I mean, how I don't know how kids can afford, like, how do school kids afford to have fake nails? Hey, Paul, how you going? Paul, this is a story you're glad you never got to hear. So don't even bother doing a rewind or a replay on this because you will not appreciate this video at all. My story today was, in my spilling the tea, was how I'm about to go to Africa in a couple of months' time, under 2 months' time now, and there will be squat toilets. You've been lurking. Okay, so you know all about it. I don't need to elaborate any more than I needed to, right? So anyway, I am going to a physio, but I'm going home to get shorts first. But yeah, so trust me, I'll fill everyone in about my squatting adventures. And I'm sure in Africa there will be some more squatting adventures and mishaps. There always is, right? There always is. It's never it's never normal. So yeah. Hey, how's your weather down in Phillip Island at the moment, Paul? Man, today is absolutely beautiful. Oh, I can't read it. I've been chuckling along with you. Okay, excellent. Thank you, Paul. I'm glad someone was chuckling along with me, okay? You can see by the sky, Paul, the weather is amazing today. Amazing. I'm sorry, I'm not sure who that is. I think could it be Jim from Mainly, our friend Jim from Maine? I don't know, I'm not sure. I can't tell. But guys, I do actually have to fly. As soon as I get home, I literally have to actually going to leave the phone in the car and just run upstairs. Funnily enough, I actually need to go pee first and then put some shorts on. I'm like 2 minutes away from home. And then I have 8 minutes before my physio appointment starts. So I've just got enough time. So anyway, I enjoyed telling you that spilling the tea. I thought that was hilarious. And you know what? Maybe you didn't find it hilarious, but these are the things that make me smile and laugh. And I seem to be in my ultimate when I'm telling you these stories. So anyway, and you know what? It's there for me to remember. In 10 years' time, I'll look back at these stories and go, "You're an idiot." About myself, I'm talking. Okay. We are home sis. Okay, guys, thanks for being here. I hope you enjoyed spilling the tea. Bye.